each VDI. So as per that, mhm.
Okay, so I'm just I've just started recording the session. If he joins late, so that I will be able to share the recordings with you. So that is not an issue.
Okay. Mhm. Mhm.
So, do you have any idea what is Citrix?
Yeah, Citrix, it's a company which is located in US, and
Mm-hmm.
they provide virtualization for the application in desktop. So mainly they have two products is more demanded in the market.
Mm-hmm.
That is like JNF in Gen Desktop.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the technology like many company are using currently. So it's like through Citrix we can provide application and desktop as per user demand on their machine.
What is virtualization?
Virtualization is like remotely, like their data center will be like a physical machine will be somewhere, and we can connect to remotely from anywhere as per business requirement.
Yes. So, but that is not the correct definition of the virtualization. You can access
Hmm.
any machine over the globe. Even you can access my laptop from your location as well. If I can configure or if I can simply open RDP port in my firewall, right? So you will be able
Hmm.
to connect to my laptop over the remote desktop session, right? So that doesn't mean I'm virtualizing my hardware. I'm simply remotely connecting to it, right? So that is not the correct definition of virtualization.
Okay.
So with the help of virtualization, what we can do, we can achieve or we can utilize any hardware up to its maximum efficiency. So why we are creating the data centers? We are like we are deploying the highly configured servers at data center, and at the top of this particular servers we will configure it as a hypervisor, which is bare metal hypervisor or type 1 hypervisor in production. And over the top of that hypervisor we can create n number of virtual machines as per the hardware specification, right? So whatever the VDI
Okay.
you will be accessing in your infra, right? Every VDI is created over the top of the top layer of the hypervisor. It clear?
So hypervisor will be like install on the user machine, right? Physical device.
No, hypervisor, it will be on your servers inside your data center.
Okay, it will be inside data center. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
at user end, what you have to do is simply have to install one web browser in user laptop or one application which is known as Citrix Workspace to launch the remote session. That's it.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay, rest of the servers, whatever the count, you have to put every server behind your data center only. So
Mhm.
basically,
Okay. Mm.
how it looks like. So you can consider like that is my bare metal hypervisor, maybe a Dell server or HP server or Nutanix box. Okay, it is your physical hardware.
Okay. Okay.
So let's consider this is your physical server
Okay, which will be like located in somewhere like US or UK, anywhere of the
data center.
globe, as per. Mhm.
Okay, so that will be your physical server. And at the top layer of the physical server, what we can do to configure this as a bare metal hypervisor, we simply put hypervisor as an operating system directly on physical server. Why it is creating a text box? So we simply install an OS directly on the physical server, and this OS provides that virtualization capability to this particular machine to create the new VM. So the example in this case are, we are installing OS directly on physical server, and the examples are, if we talk about the VMware, so it will be your VMware ESXi host. In case of Citrix, it is known as Gen server, and another one that is from the Microsoft, which is known as Hyper-V.
Okay, so these all are like a hypervisor,
Yes,
right? We'll install on the physical server.
yes, directly on the physical server as an operating system. These are not the applications, okay?
Mhm. Okay.
So this is known as your, I think that other guy is also joined. Hi Manish, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Am I audible to you?
Yes, yes. So we have not
Okay.
we have not started it. We are just discussing what is hypervisor, right?
Okay.
Okay. So the example in production, you will always find these hypervisors only. Company may be different, maybe from VMware, maybe from Citrix, or maybe from Microsoft. Okay, but the technology, whatever they guys are using, it will remain same. So
Okay.
now you have installed OS and you have configured this machine as a hypervisor. Now, and this physical server is already equipped with your resources like your RAM, right? SSD, maybe some network card. So these resources will be there. So once you have configured this as a hypervisor, now at the top of the hypervisor layer, you can create n number of VDI and you can publish these
Okay.
VDI to your end users. Okay. So basically
Okay.
in data centers, what we are doing, we are having one bare metal server. This is the physical server. And over the top of the physical
Mhm.
servers, we are creating the VDI, which is known as virtual machines for the end user,
Desktop. Yeah, virtual machine.
right?
Mhm.
So everywhere you
So,
will find this kind of scenario only. Only company may be differ as per the company policy. Okay.
mhm. Okay. So
Yeah, but
after creating the VDI, that provisioning team will provision through the LAN ID or something, right? So
look,
individual user.
look, look. Just forget about your current role, which is Servitex. Okay. In Citrix data
Mhm.
center, we have to do each and every operations.
Okay.
Why? Because yeah, provisioning that will be not be your task. Why? Because these kind of operations will be handled by L2 team. In Citrix, we are having 5 layers: L1, L2, L3, L4, L5. Okay, as per their role, job and roles and responsibilities, right? So
Oh,
your L1 guys, they will do some basic things like basic activities like monitoring of the data center. If any alert is there, they have to get into the alert, and if that particular alert is not fixed by them, in that case they have to forward the ticket to the next available support team. Okay, in Citrix team only.
mm, okay.
And multiple roles are there, like provisioning, VDI creation. These kind of operations will be handled by L2 and L3 level guys, and L4 and L5 level guys, they guys will be managing the project for the companies. Okay, at management level. So multiple roles are there. So is this clear what is
Mhm.
hypervisor?
Yeah, yeah. It's so we can create like n number of the VM virtual machine on the top of the hypervisor.
Yes.
And
Not
what would this? Mhm. Yeah.
not n numbers of. It is totally dependent on your hardware configuration. If you are having 500 GB of RAM in a single server, right? In that case, what you can do, you can create 100 virtual machines with 10 GB memory each. Okay.
Okay, it's depend. Yeah.
It depends. It is not like that. No, why? Because the hardware resources are there only at physical server, right? These virtual machines will be using these hardware resources from a single machine. Okay.
Okay.
So basically in production, you will always find, how can I spell this? Okay. So you will find parallelly, two hypervisors will be there for failover or load balancing. Okay. So the count of machines, whatever you have there, the same thing will be reflected on the second hypervisor as well in case of downtime or in case of disaster. Okay.
Okay.
Now, my voice is
Hello,
clear.
hello, sir. I just have a doubt.
Mhm.
Hello.
Yes, yes, tell me.
So I have a doubt in. Okay, so you said about the parallel thing. So that is totally on the hypervisor thing. Like half will be taken by the main resource and half will be the parallel, like this.
There is no main, no secondary. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Both will be
Mm-hmm.
running at different locations. Maybe one data center in USA or another one is in, it may be in
Okay.
Florida or New York or some
Mm-hmm.
other location, right? So
Okay.
basically these servers are configured for the high availability. Okay. Not for the downtime.
Mm-hmm.
Means whatever
Okay.
the changes user is doing in this VDI, at the same time, all changes will be reflected to the same machine for that user in another data center. This is how it will be configured. Means user will never know to which data center user is connecting. Okay, it's totally up to the VDI availability in for that particular reason.
Okay.
Okay, so this is how we can configure the high availability for even for SQL as well, for Microsoft Exchange Server. Everywhere we have to configure in that way only. Why? Because we cannot tolerate the
Mm-hmm.
downtime, right? It will impact the business. So to avoid the
Yes. Yes.
downtime, you have to configure two servers at least. Minimum two should be the requirement. Okay, but if you are having
Okay.
good capex, if you can invest a lot, you can configure 3 or 4 servers together, or maybe 3 or 4 data center over the globe. It's totally up to the company policy or requirement. My
Okay.
voice is proper now. Basically, today I'm suffering from cold and cough actually. So that is the only reason why
No,
I'm
we
It's
can
very.
hear.
that is the only reason why I am speaking in very very slow mode.
Ah,
So
sir, no worries for that.
very very important, guys. Whenever you will be go for some job profile switch or maybe for Citrix interview rounds, right? So basic question anyone can ask you, like what is Citrix and how it works, right? So you should be able to answer that. So
Yes.
you do not have to read a lot. Why? Because they are just expecting the basic definition of the product. That's it. Okay. That is not the technical question. That is completely non-technical question. What is Citrix? Okay. So
Yes.
basically, it is a company located in US, Florida, and it is most popular for two products into the virtualization. And the product names are Citrix Virtual Apps and Virtual Desktop. Earlier, these products were named as GenApp and Gen Desktop, but now they guys rename their product from GenApp to Virtual App and from Gen Desktop to Virtual Desktop. Product is same, they only rename their product name. Okay, so for me, like for older guys who is into the Citrix since long time, we guys still used to have that wording only, Gen App and Gen Desktop, right? But for the newcomers, this is now virtual apps and virtual desktop. That is, in short, it is also known as Citrix virtual apps and desktop. That is CVAD. Okay, let me type it. CVAD. Okay, so that is the short name for Citrix virtual apps and desktop. Any doubt in basic
CVV.
definition? You should be able to answer if someone asks you this simple question.
Yeah, we got.
Now, so as you can see on your screen, that is the data center network diagram. You can consider it as a network diagram. So on your left hand side, you have nothing to do because that is the end user part, and your local IT team will take care of this responsibility. Your local IT team have to install one application which is known as Citrix Workspace or Citrix Receiver along with a web browser for that user. That's it. So you have to guide them, okay? Whatever the version is required, correct version of Citrix Workspace, right? That's it. Now, as an Citrix engineer, you are responsible to manage that right-hand part, which will be your data center with multiple servers, multiple VDI, multiple things are there, okay? So you have to manage your right-hand part, and in between, you will be having Citrix Gateway. Earlier, it was known as the NetScaler. Now they guys renamed the NetScaler to Citrix Gateway. So Citrix Gateway, that is optional or additional product from the Citrix. Citrix recommend to use NetScaler for security purpose and load balancing. But if you will be having another some other firewall as well, right? Like from Cisco or maybe from FortiGate, you can deploy those as well. Okay, it's totally up to the companies what kind of security solutions they guys are using. So, okay, very important thing. In most of the companies, basically Citrix Gateway or NetScaler, it is a kind of networking device. So, in most of the companies, this particular gateway, it will be managed by a network team also. Okay, so it's totally up to the company, like Citrix team is managing it or network team is managing it. But generally what will happen, we are the support guys, right? If something needs to be open inside the firewall, right, we can do that, but we are not designed for that profile, right? So for those kind of operations, we have to take some support from network team as well, and mutually we can perform the task and we can close the tickets. Okay, so if you are facing some issues with the NetScaler gateway is nothing, that is a kind of URL for end users. Okay, user must have to type some URL www.xyz.com. After that, that NetScaler route the connection to the storefront. So storefront is nothing, that is a web company website. And after that, once it will hit the company URL, that storefront web page, it will ask end user to put the credentials. And once user enters the credentials, that query, it will directly route it to the Active Directory server. Why? Because AD server is only responsible to validate the end user credentials, right? I think you guys
Yes.
know what is Active Directory server. I have nothing to explain in this, right? If someone do not know, please
Yeah.
let me know. Okay, these are the very basic things what I'm explaining right now. Now, once credentials are validated, then it will forward the query again to delivery controller. So basically, delivery controller, it is a kind of CPU, or it is a kind of what we can say mastermind for Citrix data center. Okay, so it will manage all the queries. It is only responsive, and basically that is a server. All of the components, whatever you can see here, all these are the servers. Okay, So again, it will forward that query to delivery controller, and delivery controller forward that query to the SQL server to check into the database which VDI, which application, and whatever the resources is published for that particular user. So once it will get the list from the database, like these particular machines, VM or applications are available for this particular user, that query will be forwarded to the hypervisor where all the VDA, server VDA or desktop VDA are located, like VMs are located. Then it will trigger the power on server, power on signal to those VDI, and on the next page user will get some small icons like Windows 10 desktop, 11 desktop, or whatever the desktop is published. Then user simply have to double click on the icon and it will download one .ica extension that is known as ICA file, and that ICA file, it is used by the Citrix Workspace app to securely launch the session, and the end user will be connected to the session. Any doubt so far?
No doubt.
So guys, do not worry about that part. Why? Because these all are the servers and we will be going to configure all the servers one by one, step by step. Okay. So that is just an overview what we are going to deploy. Okay.
So this will happen in the both the cases, like application and desktop.
Yes.
Okay. So like when user want to launch any application or when user want to launch their desktop.
That is the emulation process. It will be follow everywhere. Okay. Whatever end user is launching. It could be application, it could be a desktop. Okay.
Okay.
But process will go in that way only. Okay.
Mm.
Now, so basically, what I have done, I have divided the entire Citrix in 10 sessions. So, so basically, we are here right now on the first one. What we are doing, we are just discussing the prerequisite and we are covering the kind of introduction. That's it. Okay. We are doing nothing here. From second session onwards, we will go with the practicals. In second session, we have to configure a delivery controller. Then we will learn how to configure the hypervisor. Then we will create one site. Then we will create the master images and we will install that VDA agent inside the VDA. Then we will create the machine catalog. So machine catalogs are nothing. These are the virtual machines. In Citrix, these are known as the machine catalogs. Then we will create the delivery group. So basically, with the help of the delivery groups, we can restrict our end users to a specific virtual machine. We do not want every user, right, to access all the VDI, right? So these kind of policies we can configure in delivery groups. In the last, we will install and configure the storefront server. Then in the ninth one, we will test up our deployment. We will act as an end user and we will try to access our resources over the internet from end user device. And 10th category, that is for kind of real-time troubleshooting and for some scenario-based question we will cover in this last one, and we will follow the process whatever we have to follow in production. So basically, these are not the sessions. Do not count them as a sessions. These are the categories how we have to go. These that is a roadmap. Okay, so basically, like second category, that is for installation and configuration of the delivery controller, right? So that is not possible to complete this activity in one lecture. That will be a lengthy, installation is lengthy. Okay, So session duration will be dependent on the topic whatever we are going to cover. Okay, maybe for Citrix hypervisor configuration we might have to schedule 3 classes. Okay, in that way, right? It's totally up to the topic and installation, whatever the operations we are performing. Any doubt? Guys, yes, no?
So
Yeah,
no
yeah.
doubt. I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So the Citrix cloud, will that be covered in that this also?
No.
Or Citrix cloud is a part of this thing?
Cloud, right now we are doing on-premises configuration. Okay, cloud, it is for
Okay.
L3 and L4 level, not for you right now. Once you will cover this, then only I will groom you for cloud. Okay, not before that.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Now, very, very important, and the hardware arrangement, whatever you have to do. So you can see we have to configure at least 6 server at least, right? So host name you can see on your screens, and like first server, that will be our delivery controller. That is Citrix, sorry, that is your domain controller, first one. Second one is your delivery controller, that is Citrix core server. These two are the hypervisors. And why I have taken two hypervisor? For to configure both on high availability. So 10 GB RAM for each hypervisor. And these two are my end user VDI. And we will access our resources with the help of the end user machines. So my domain is techmtech.com. In your case, you can create your own domain controller and you can give whatever the name you want to give to your domain controller. Then now you can see the hardware requirement. Here it is, like like 10 plus 10, 20, 26, 28, 30 and 32 GB of memory at least required, and with 500 GB of SSD and i5 8th generation processor, or you can use higher as well, but at least i5 8th generation is required. If you go uh, below that, it will not support the virtualization, that particular models. Any doubt in the hardware requirement?
No, so like hard disk will not work. Hard disk 1 TB or something like that.
No. Operations will be very, very slow. You know, like in SATA drives or in mechanical drives, na? Like read-write operations
Mhm,
is the issue. When you power on 5 virtual machine together, na, the response will be horrible. You
mhm.
will not be able to do anything. You just have to right click and you have to wait. Okay, so I do not want that kind of scenarios. Okay,
Okay.
just get be ready with your hardware. If you are unable to arrange the hardware, please let me know. I will arrange some lab for you as well on rental basis, so that is not an issue, but we have to start from tomorrow. Now you can see, you can take a photo of that, like the technical skills, what is needed: some basic understanding of Windows Server, DHCP and DNS. Hardware requirement, you can see 32 GB of RAM, i5 or higher, and SSD 500 GB. And then the OS, the ISO files, these ISO files, I think I already shared these ISO file links to you guys, right?
Yeah, I got it. That I use. Yeah.
Okay, any doubt?
No.
No, no.
So basically in this call, only 3 minutes are remaining, and I'm also suffering from cough as well. So rest of the things, like we can discuss like offline as well on my mobile number. And what I
Mm.
will do, I will share that recorded session after editing to you guys. And from tomorrow onwards, please be ready. Mutually, we'll fix one time. Okay. Whatever, like today time is fine for both of you, like 6. I think we have connected at 6, right? Is that time work every day for you guys?
No, actually, practically, it will be difficult for me because I should be at home for practical sessions
Okay. So what
because
I
I'm
will
in
do?
office now.
Okay. So what I will do?
Mhm.
I will create one WhatsApp group with both of you. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
that will be easy for me to manage both of you, right? So whatever the queries,
Yeah,
whatever,
correct.
if someone is not available or someone is unable to join for some reason, right? So you guys can post,
Mm.
right?
Yeah. We can ask any doubt, whatever we have. Like,
Okay, guys. So I have done for today. From tomorrow morning, we'll start with the practicals. Okay.
okay, so tomorrow timing, like, it will be like,
I will create a WhatsApp group first, and in that we can schedule or we can fix one time
mhm.
mutually. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe in afternoon or maybe when you will be at your home in morning.
Morning, 12:30 is fine for me. Afternoon,
Okay. And what about you?
12:30.
Actually, I work in a night shift and that shift ends at 10. So that will be a hectic for me.
Okay. Mm, okay. I will call you guys one by one and I will fix it. Okay. In this call, only less than a minute is remaining, so that call may be terminated
Uh,
anytime. Okay.
else we can schedule on weekend also. It will be fine, I think, for both of us because we are working in different kind of shifts, right? So,
That we'll discuss
like
and fix.
Saturday, Sunday.
Okay, let me create a
Mhm.
WhatsApp group first, then we'll discuss it mutually. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
guys,
sure.
no worries.
Okay. Thank you, guys. Bye. Have a nice day.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.